All right, as Justin dials in, I'm going to get started with our introduction. So, welcome everyone to another Twitter Spaces Roundtable, which is hosted by Morningstar Ventures. For this month's topic, we have decided to dive a little bit deeper into how developing countries are adopting Web3. And we're also going to find out which types of trends and also opportunities are emerging in these growing markets. Joining us today are three guests. We have Justin Colón, Head of Community at H&H, which is based out of Vietnam. We have Alper Çimik, the CMO of Coin Muhendisi, a project that is based in Turkey. And finally, filling in for Abhinav is Pathak, who is part of the research team at Woodstock, a fund that is based in India. So we have a very international panel today. Myself, I'm dialing in from London, and I believe Peter is actually in Italy at the moment, and our Morningstar Ventures host is in Dubai. So we've got all the bases covered. So we're very excited to discuss this topic with our guests today, and we would like to remind our audience that we are taking live questions towards the end of the session. We always carve around 10 to 15 minutes for your questions. And if you don't want to ask your question live, we also have the opportunity to type your questions in the comments section of the spaces. And again, towards the end, my colleague and I will be reading these questions to our guests. Okay, well, we're super excited to have you guys here. So I suggest we get started with a round of introductions. Justin, do you want to give us a quick introduction of who you are, how you got into crypto, and also tell us a little bit more about Ancient 8?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for inviting me to the space. Really looking forward to tonight's chat. I actually got into crypto in 2017, kind of during the first big Bitcoin peak season. And during that time, I was just kind of a retail investor, buying some tokens and holding, not really playing too much in it. But then once the DeFi summer started and NFTs came into the space, I got reignited and reinterested in the space quite heavily, and joined Ancient 8. My background is in marketing, so I spent 10 years in digital marketing and joined Ancient 8 initially on the marketing side of things, and now I'm working as the head of community as well as BD and partnerships for Ancient 8. And just a little bit more about Ancient 8, we're building a gaming-focused ETH Layer 2 chain that's built on OP Stack. And we offer an ecosystem of different Web3 gaming infrastructure tools to serve as the distribution and marketing channel for games globally. Our go-to market kind of growth products include a platform called Space3, which is a game publishing platform, PlayNation, which provides tournament and organization playtesting, as well as Ancient 8 Dojo, which is a gaming NFT launchpad. And then we also have a research content portal and even an in-house content creator team to create gaming content for our gaming partners. So yeah, that's a little bit about the Ancient 8 team.
Thank you so much for your introduction. And I can go if you want, Peter. If you are confirming, I'm continue with our introduction and everything.
Yeah, do it. Give us your introduction, please.
Okay, Coin Muhendisi is the biggest and most trusted cryptocurrency research platform in Turkey. We are making different things with our community and with the project, with the launchpads, with the exchanges, with the venture capitals like yours, like the Woodstock, like the Ancient 8. And thank you so much for everybody hosting us here and being here. It is all our pleasure, because we are so interested in these spaces between all of the community in the crypto, and this is a huge chance for us, and thank you everybody. I'm Alper Çimik, which is the CMO of Coin Muhendisi. I am the marketing side of the Coin Muhendisi. We are making works together and also making lots of events with the projects, like the Binance ones, like the Maker ones, like the Morningstar Ventures, like the CDFI, Signal. You can think everything in the crypto ecosystem. Now we are also making different events between in Istanbul, in Singapore, in Dubai, in all of the world side, like the Paris, like the Portuguese. You can see us everywhere in the future. But we started from the 2017. We've got so much experience in the crypto side as well, because we are aiming to everybody here the crypto economic independency in Turkey, because now is corruption here, and the all developing countries, because of the world things that you know about the FAD and all things like in the dollar thing, with the American banks and the industry, and you know about this situation. And everybody is in crypto right now in Turkey, and everybody knows about the crypto even if they are not in. And this is the key point. The crypto is so much important, and also the Web 3.0 is so much important in Turkey with every single crypto ecosystem. For an example, AI communities, for an example, game files, for an example, social files, and every single Web 3.0 companies are here and making events inside the Istanbul, especially
Yep.
in the collective
Thank you,
house. And
Alper.
this is our introduction.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Alper, for the great and rich introduction of your activities and what you are doing in different sides of crypto industry. For sure, we will discuss further the importance of crypto in Turkish ecosystem and in other regions, and why people are getting more and more into crypto space. But yeah, happy to also to get some space for Wokan from Woodstock. Please let us know more about how you get started in crypto and more about Woodstock VC.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Vukant. I've been with Woodstock for close to 2.5 years now. My background was in tech actually before this. My first experience with the blockchain was when I started writing contracts for it, and I just, mess around on the testnet and think that, wow, this technology is so good, and not really bother with mainnet and how expensive it was and how just like ridiculous everything was back then. So that was back in 2020. And after experimenting with smart contracts, I decided to give VC a shot. I was interning at Microsoft at that point of time, and that really wasn't fun. So getting into the Web3 space and, interacting with all the people and all the brilliance around me definitely, stuck to me, and which is why I decided to stick around. And I think it's one of the best decisions I ever made. Coming to Woodstock, Woodstock's one of India's oldest and largest Web3 venture capital funds. We started out in 2019. We have close to like 70 to 80 investments now. And we've invested all across the Web3 stack, from L1s, L2s, infrastructure plays, DeFi plays, and NFT plays. So yeah, we have a fairly comprehensive ecosystem. About like 30% of our projects are from India, and we try to give our international projects access to India as much as we can, and our Indian projects access to outside the world as much as we can. So we try to create that bridge from the east to the west. That was like the sort of philosophy that we started with, and I think we're still on that path.
Thank you so much for the great introduction, and I would like to start our discussion with a short but really important question. What are the most discussed topics in your local Web3 communities right now in the middle of bear market? What are people talking about these days during the summer period in crypto market with the bearish sentiment? Justin, why you go next and let us know what are people talking about in Ancient community?
Yeah, so I think in the Web3 gaming space, kind of the hottest topic at the current in the current market state is how to onboard the traditional gamers into blockchain gaming. I think in version 1 or phase 1, whatever we want to call it, of Web3 gaming, we brought in a lot of crypto traders and a lot of financial focused users, and not a ton of gaming focused users. And I think now in our space, most games and most gaming chains and gaming communities are now trying to find different ways to engage the Web2 ecosystem users and bring them over to Web3, to see that there's a lot more going on in Web3 gaming outside of just play to earn. There are a lot of really great games being built, and that the blockchain offers so much more than just the financial side of what the technology can do, but there's so much more that the technology can do. And now I feel like everyone is focused, because the financial side of things has kind of settled in. People have really started to focus on different ways we can activate those communities And yeah, it's been kind of actually one of the, I would say, the better things about the bear market is that the slower focus on the financial side has allowed us to really identify the gamers a lot more easily in the ecosystem.
Got it. Thanks for the insights about Web3 gaming and potential to fill the gap with the Web2 space. And what are people talking about in Indian ecosystem these days?
Definitely. So I think the first thing that we've noticed as a VC fund, and I think that would be consistent with what you guys at Morningstar are also seeing, is that we've seen a lot of people like sort of projects basically like revise their SAFTs to like safe and token warrants now. Everybody wants equity in projects. So I think that's like one sort of tectonic shift that we've seen from the bull market to the bear. I think there was a lot of hype around PFPs and NFTs in general that has like died down a bit with the gaming or with like the sort of current market situation, but gaming is still like sort of sustaining fairly well, and in fact in some ways I think is also picking up. There's like some natural like tendency for the Indian market and gaming and blockchain gaming to work really well there, but definitely seeing that trend sort of continue to grow. We've seen like some top studios in the Web3 space, like there's India's only public gaming company called Nazara, and like one of the bigger Indian projects called Mobile Premier League. These are on like the traditional Web2 side of things, also come out with Web3 games. And there's also like another like a Web3 AAA sort of FPS title coming out very soon. So definitely seeing a lot of action on the gaming side. And what's really interesting is that the government themselves is testing out like a few blockchain focused use cases, like the listing, like they're putting out some sort of like state data or some sort of like real estate data on chain itself, and there were like some certificates also that went on chain in Maharashtra. So definitely some like interesting experiments going on despite the bear market. So yeah, a lot of reasons to be excited.
Got it. Thank you so much. Alper, how about Turkey? What are people talking about in crypto in Turkey these days?
In Turkey, yes, gamify is so important, but for different situation, the developing are so important right now because projects are coming. Istanbul, very recent, very high topic is right now is developing. Kind of like ICP, kind of like Mina, kind of like Venus Protocol, kind of like BNB chain. They are coming out here for the Web 3.0 educations for everybody in Turkey about the developments. Yes, gamifiers are so much important, social files are so much important, and the NFT files are so much important that I point out in the first section that I mentioned about. But the developing side is so much very important right now. The all topics are inside the developments, and they are coming out for the educations. The grants are coming, the projects are coming, the chains are coming, and everybody blockchains are here. Very absolutely good ecosystems here with this education in this bear market, the tough market. Everybody is looking behind because they want to see bull in these days, and they want to see money inside theirs, and also they want to make their improvements in these days and the fortifications inside their ecosystems. And this is so key topic in every ecosystem, in every gamifies, even if the sandbox, even if the everybody is inside in Turkey right now talking about the developments in the Web 3.0. So this is the key point in this bear market, I think, and everybody is talking about in the same situation while we are in the events, and we heard about them with the face to face with the communities of ours, and now this is the trend topic in Turkey.
Alper, thank you so much. And I just wanted to maybe move on to the next question where we talk a little bit more about your communities and also the reason why crypto is so popular in your countries. So, Justin, why is crypto so important in Vietnam? And also, what do you think is needed in the future for your local ecosystems to grow?
Yeah, really good questions. So yeah, I'm sure maybe many of you guys have seen, but Vietnam has a really high adoption rate for blockchain users, not just in gaming, but just kind of across the board in crypto. And I think as with most countries outside the Western world, there's a lot of it's kind of an emerging market. So as many of the emerging markets, crypto just seems to kind of have more popularity as there's typically like less banked in terms of age brackets, and I think also kind of Vietnam in particular as a region is a very tech focused region, like very interested in newer technologies. So we have a lot of blockchain developers in this region, and some of kind of the first big games to come into the space are actually coming from this region, like Sky Mavis and Axie Infinity is actually developed right here in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, where we're based. So yeah, there's a lot of excitement around crypto in Vietnam, and kind of always has been since early 2017. So yeah, I think it's kind of just like a blend of adoption coming from the technical side, where we have so many developers, but then also a lot of young people that are interested in tech, and definitely a very big gaming population, maybe even very similar to India and the Philippines and other regions around Southeast Asia. A lot of adoption in mobile gaming and gaming in general. So that also makes it really kind of a hotbed for Web3 gaming, and the user base tends to be a bit more open to blockchain as a technology for things like gaming, and the community here seems to be very interested in kind of this new technology. So those are some of the things that I'm seeing here in the region of Vietnam.
Great. What about in India? Why is it so important at the moment, and what do you think is going to further this growth?
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's really interesting, but there's some like there was a crypto adoption index I think from last year, and I think Vietnam was number one on that list, and India's number two on that list. With India, I think like the key reasons sort of are that we're first of all we're like one of the fastest growing economies in the world. So I think definitely like a lot of people are looking to expand outwards and try to see what other opportunities they can sort of bring to grow the economy further. So definitely a lot of growth on that side. We're also like a mobile first country, right? So a major part of our sort of a major number of the people in the country never had laptops. They straight away graduated to using mobile phones that were connected to the internet, which is another big factor. Internet in India is extremely cheap. So that also has made like Web3 adoption pretty easy for everyone. What's really interesting with India especially is that there's also a very high degree of financial inclusion in the like in across all generations, because India has created like their own underlying financial, like they have a whole India stack which has multiple sort of financial APIs and products that people already interface with. So people are already used to digital payments, and even people from like a village or like some remote parts of India are very used to using this technology on a day-to-day basis. So crypto in some way, I mean, again, like we aren't at that sort of user experience where crypto feels very familiar to them, but it's still in some way like they're still comfortable with it. They're not like entirely, it's not like introducing them to a new piece of technology and being like, hey, you have to trust this sort of like new system. So which is why I think we're seeing high amounts of adoption. On the gaming side of things, again, I think it's really interesting that there's a like India has always been like a traditionally like a low monetization market, and with growth that is somewhat changing. And we think Web3 games, especially like NFTs and all of these sort of products, will help us bring in more retention and monetize the Indian user base even more. So definitely like more excited on that side as well.
Cool. Thanks for letting us know. And um, Alper, from Turkey side, why do you think crypto is so popular in your country, and what is needed to further grow of your local ecosystem?
Thanks, Peter. In Turkey, as I explained in the previous, right now the corruption has been here. As a developing country, we need so much ecosystems in Turkey from the crypto side, but very important in Turkey. But in the crypto side, while we are making these adoptions with the other ecosystems, community is very important and the key point. While we are making the competitions, while we are making different events with everybody, while we are making contact with them in our social side, this is very important. Making adoptions with everybody, and while making in any ecosystem, in GameFi, in SocialFi, in AI ecosystem, in different ecosystem, while we are making these competitions with the crypto ecosystem, and also the airdrops, and also the whitelists, everything inside the NFTs, everything inside the launch pads are so intended on in Turkish crypto marketing because of their selective things inside all of the ecosystem, even if the bear and the tough market. But this is not important because our community really knows about the good launch pads, and we are taking videos inside YouTube in our YouTube channel, and everybody is getting tracking on, getting subscribing every single pre-sales, every single ideas that in the trusted ones, and we are also making different things with our local ecosystems, and we are making lots of things inside our crypto ecosystems, and this is the key point in Turkey. The crypto is getting higher, and this is very important for everybody here.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thanks, dear guest, that you showed from different angles how crypto and why is it popular in specific regions and how it will grow further, and what could become a next trigger for the growth of crypto adoption in your countries. And I would like to continue with the question to Justin. As we all know, Ancient Eight started as a gaming guild focused on Vietnamese market during the first cycle of GameFi, and ended up attracting a significant user base there. What is the sentiment like today? Are people still excited about Web3 gaming in Vietnam? And did you have to adapt your business model because of changing trends and community requests? I guess here you can let us know more about your infrastructure that you're building and how it affected the community and the all movements in the GameFi market.
Yeah, really great question. So yeah, definitely the evolution I think of GameFi happened quite quickly. I think it was really like a 6 month period where it became very clear that the initial play to earn type of model was not going to be sustainable for this space, and I think that it caused most gaming guilds to really better understand what type of software we would need to pivot into, from a sense, in terms of really developing out the space further for actual adoption, rather than where the space was, where it wasn't quite ready for the adoption at the speed at which it was happening. So we started to see very quickly that kind of the where we could serve partners the best is essentially by helping them to onboard users, but not just users to play the game, but actually users to join and actually experience the game for the first time, rather than just jumping in to kind of farm tokens and actually not be like gamer focused users. We saw that the space needed the right type of user to be attracted to the space, and with that, we saw that there was a need for a better infrastructure there. So a good example of that for us would be Space 3, which is our game questing platform. So this is the type of platform that attracts more of a game-focused user, because essentially what we do is we set up quests for our game partners where users are able to contribute in a lot of different ways. From things such as engaging on social media to actually completing in-game quests, and then users are able to redeem rewards on the platform. Some of it is on chain, even where they're able to mint out soulbound tokens for the completion of certain missions. So this gives players exposure to the blockchain, and this allows us to attract more gaming focused users. So we saw that infrastructure was very necessary, and not just this need for onboarding players just to grind the game for certain reasons, but to also find players that just want to play the game because they're interested in gaming and also interested in these new technologies. I think it would be silly to say that there is as much interest today as there was at the peak of the bull market. I don't think any game could claim to see those kind of numbers just yet. But what I will say is, in our region and what we've seen in most of South Southeast Asia is that the player base is becoming more of a gaming focused player base. And I would say that in terms of like actual gamers in the space, the numbers are going up for sure. That chart is definitely going up. In terms of total users in the space, obviously it's kind of following with the trend of the market as well. So yeah, I think that's what we're seeing now. But as more great games are coming into the space, we're definitely seeing more and more Web2 users starting to adopt some of the Web3 technologies more openly, and that's really exciting to see. And I think that not only are great games coming to the space, but also there are platforms and other gaming communities that are building a lot of platforms that are kind of integrating into the Web3 game ecosystem in a way that's making it really seamless for players to jump across and experience a lot of different games across the space better than they ever have. So those are kind of some of the things that we're seeing from our side.
Thank you so much for the great insights, and it's great to see that product is evolving in different cycles of the market conditions, and that you pay so much attention to the infrastructure and tools that might help us to get more and more users from different industries to join Web3 gaming, and to give people the most comfortable tools and convenient environment to play games, achieve different rewards, and so on and so on. Yeah, that's really exciting. And my next question is to Alper. No doubt that the Turkish Web3 ecosystem is one of the most developed markets in crypto, with numerous projects, local exchanges, communities, and events. You already mentioned a lot of educational programs, a lot of grants, and a lot of chains coming to Turkey. And in your opinion, what can other local regions and local builders and people from other countries can learn from Turkey's experience?
Absolutely, I can explain. And this is very different things inside Turkey ecosystem right now, because the key points are changed, almost changed. And I want to give you an example. For an example, in the previous days, the Binance launch pool projects, the Say Ones and the Cyber Connect has been made by the Binance. But you know about the airdrop things inside this ecosystem, and everybody getting annoying, getting crazy, and also getting fantastic things inside their minds. But while they are saying something inside their accounts, and they're getting upset, and this situation give the project in the FUD. And we don't want to be like that in the projects, because we love we love Cyber Connect, we love Ancient 8, every project in the Web3.0 ecosystem, we love everything. But we saw in the recent, airdrop is not the key point while you are making something with your ecosystem and with your community. The main thing is in Turkey is sustainable projects. Why? Because the Cyber Connect has been separated the mini shard NFTs of theirs while we are making the live stream broadcast with their ecosystem, and they didn't told anybody we will give you airdrop with these mini shard NFTs. But everybody was holding this NFT, and they earned very crazy airdrops in their wallets. So while we are looking for this, we were very happy, because while you are making this community with organically, while you are making your effectiveness to your community in Turkey in the first section with the organic, and your ecosystem is getting earned. And after the speech of the BTS staff in the Istanbul Blockchain Week, we saw that after all of the speech is the key point with your community, because you know about the news about the Cyber Connect, the one of the exchange bought their tokens instantly after all of these social fights and social ecosystems and the organic movements. While we are making this campaign with this project, while we are saying this, we were very happy. Even if we are making in this previous with the Binarex, even if with the Syscoin, even if with the Clayton and the Qtum, we know there are lots of experiences, but the recent one is the sustainable things inside all of the Web3 ecosystem is trend topic. While you are making here in the organic things, and you can earn very quickly, and you can see from this graphicals from the Cyber Connect, and we are so happy after all of these arrangements. And we saw the different things with the grants of the ICP, with the different things, the other projects are now getting hype in the Web3 ecosystem, even if this tough and the beer marketing. And it's very huge pleasure, all of communities, I think, all of the countries.
Thanks for the great insights about how you work with the community, how you keep people know about the sustainable projects, about how they can potentially earn in crypto and how they can participate to get future rewards, and how they can get benefit from companies, and also navigate big companies from all over the world, how to better communicate with Turkish community. It's really, really valuable job.
Definitely, Peter, and one of the key takeaways was, building sustainable projects with strong communities, which I think all of the 3 projects today that we have on our call are very good at building. Let's move a little bit more to the VC side, actually. So, Volkan, from the Woodstock perspective, we're curious to hear what are some of the key trends that you see in India that you specifically as a VC are looking for, and what are you particularly interested in at the moment?
Yeah, so I think it's been like, I think the bear market has been an interesting phase for everyone. I think some of the key sort of bases, everything that we would base things off of in the bull market kind of went for a was not really true anymore, and I think we've all had to adjust our thesis a little bit. I do think that everyone talks about how we're sort of in the infrastructure phase for Web3, and how we'll see consumer apps coming out soon. That's sort of the general trend of what people believe. Personally, I'm not a big fan of that. There's a really interesting post by Union Square Ventures about how the myth of the infrastructure phase, and they were talking about the internet back then, and how basically infrastructure led to the creation of more consumer apps, which led to the creation of more infrastructure. So when the internet was created, HTTP and those communication protocols led to the email, which everyone started adopting, which led to sort of more, I would say, internet focused products, which more people started using. I don't think we've seen that in Web3 yet. And this is where I think the India thesis also sort of comes into play. India is a massive market, right? We're one of the largest populations in the world, and one of the largest English speaking populations in the world as well. So definitely, I think that part of it is sort of reflected in what we try to do, and we do wish that we find some consumer apps or some use cases for crypto that the average user can sort of take advantage of and use to the full limit of their possibilities. Yeah.
Just to follow up, are there any projects at the moment that you are particularly excited about within India or also outside of India?
So I think India's sort of primarily India's main project right now is Polygon. It's sort of one of the biggest L2 ecosystems out there, and they're doing quite a lot of work in bringing users to Web3. Be it with the Starbucks collaboration or the Reddit NFTs. There's a lot of things that they're doing for mass market adoption. So I think that's the relatively the most easiest answer. But other than Polygon, I think fairly excited about a few sort of Indian projects that are doing NFTs. There's a few projects that are trying to tokenize a lot of Bollywood. Bollywood is really, really big in India, right? It's the Indian sort of film industry, and trying to bring NFTs into that, trying to create DAOs that sort of create movies or produce movies. So there's a lot of interesting mechanisms that are in play there as well. So that is something I'm particularly excited about. And I think, as I mentioned in the first part of this call, the gaming side of it is also particularly interesting, with a lot of these larger Web3 gaming studios sort of stepping in. Not Web3, Web2 gaming studios sort of stepping in and creating Web3 games as well. So yeah, I would say those are the key areas that I look at particularly.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing insights on your particular perspective on the upcoming and existing project that you are particularly bullish and positive about. And the next question from my side is about regulation. Almost on every spaces we speak about regulation, because crypto is still developing industry, and especially in developed countries, this question is very relevant, I guess. Every country has a financial regulator with a certain view on Web3 industry. Do you see positive or negative movements from local governments in your region, and do you communicate with them through association or private conversations? Justin, do you want to go next with this one?
Yeah, sure. Happy to jump in here. So we're definitely seeing positive things moving forward for regulation within Vietnam. I would say we've not gotten to the point where there's full transparency everywhere across blockchain, but we are definitely moving the right direction. And I think one of the biggest kind of token events that have happened this year for us in Vietnam is we had an event called GM Vietnam, which was hosted by Kairos Ventures, and Ancient Eight was also a part of that event as well. And it was the biggest blockchain event in Vietnam thus far, and there were regulators and some people from the government even at the event. In terms of communication, that's above my pay grade within the company, so I'm not sure in terms of how much communication there is exactly between regulators, but I think we fall within good communication, and our team is very experienced. So Ancient Eight is kind of a very close team with Coin 68 and Kairos Ventures, which have been in the market for I think Coin 68 just celebrated like its sixth birthday this year. So 6 years doing business in crypto here in Vietnam. So they definitely do their best to stay within the regulations that do exist, and are trying to help to push things forward within the region. But the region does seem to be very positive with blockchain in general, and moving the direction of adopting it more and more as the years go.
Great. Really, I also personally heard about the GM Vietnam event. Hope it went well. And Wakant, could you share some insights about the regulation in India, and how probably you from the Woodstock side help with the creating this legal and legal environment for projects and for investors in Web3?
Yeah, so let me actually preface this with this is also beyond my pay grade as well. So I will, like, whatever I say right now is my personal opinion and not Woodstock's house opinion. My legal counsel will be behind me if I say something that should not be said. But yeah, so personally, my view is that like Indian regulation has really not been the best. Crypto was sort of like a gray area in between. It still is actually to some extent, but earlier, like there was a period from 2017 onwards that the RBI had outright banned crypto, and then it got overthrown in the Supreme Court, and then it went like back and forth for a while. So there was a legal gray area, and even right now there has not been proper regulation. Even the taxation around crypto is fairly prohibitive, so you can't like offset your losses with your gains that you make in crypto. So it's not the best environment for people to even trade in. And I think internally there's also been quite a strong push for CBDCs. So what's interesting again, I think, as I mentioned earlier, is that the governments themselves are like trying to pioneer some blockchain related use cases that they see fitting in well, and those are going well. But on the like regulatory side of things, there's still quite some gray area. So like certain projects like Polygon, like any of the good Indian projects, end up having to relocate. So they move their bases from Bangalore to places like Dubai that are more friendly for them. And like it allows them to like sort of expand and grow much faster and not have to like navigate through India's sort of like complicated legal system. So that's definitely there. But I think based on the conversations again with I've had with regulators in the space, they do definitely intend to regulate it, but they do think that there needs to be like collaboration on a global scale, which is tough, but which also takes time. And once that is done, they will be like looking forward to sort of making it more open for everyone.
Thank you. Great to hear positive movements from India and Vietnam as well. And Alper, how things are going with the regulation in Turkey for Web3 right now? And probably you see some positive or negative movements in your region about regulation of Web3, crypto, and NFTs?
Yes, every time and every year it's spoken here, it's speaking here. The regulations will come, and every December, every October, they are speaking about the regulations in every year. But in Turkey, there is no regulations right now, and this is the positive side of the Web 3.0, because everybody is selecting different ecosystems. They can make different investments inside the projects. They can make the regulations of theirs for the previous ecosystems for the bull that I mentioned about, with the developments and the grants and everything inside Turkey, is right now amazing. And also the cabinet has been renewed in Turkey after the elections, and our government is making different things in the economic side because they accept the corruption and they are making different movements. And I think, yes, regulations can be come into the crypto, but I think in Turkey it will be affect everybody positively because they don't want to lose money anymore because of their previous policies, and this makes me happy in this ecosystem. So this is the key point, that we are happy in this side and we are hope to be in the bull in the future, and it's very amazing and it's very absolutely good things inside Turkey, and everybody here, and everybody is making different events. Even if the Sharding will become in Istanbul, Osmosis will be happening in the future, Istanbul Binance Blockchain Week will be happen, and we will take the reward from there, I think. And we are so exciting for this news from their side because we have been selected the crypto personality of this year, and this is very very amazing things inside Turkey right now, and I hope to be very good things. In the other end, if we can speak about the negative things, yes, the corruption is here, and now the government make the Turkish lira great in Turkey, and they are trying something. And if the regulations are coming here for the crypto, everybody couldn't move very easy in the crypto. And we don't want to be like that. And also, we want to be everybody here so free in the make their investments. And we also speak everybody inside Turkey for these situations. And everything is here right now. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Alper. I hope you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Yes, great. I'm happy that you can hear me. Thanks for your answer, and also for going into the positives and the negatives about the regulations. I think it seems like all three of you were saying that there is a lot of opportunity in regards to the regulatory climate that's happening in your countries. We've actually almost ended our conversation. So to kind of wrap up the conversation, which has been very interesting, I wanted to actually just hear, what is the main barrier? So what is really the thing that's stopping Web3 adoption in your region? And what do you think that builders in your countries have to do to make sure that they can onboard the next million users onto crypto? You know what, Vokant, you haven't gone first, so why don't you start?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I think it's something we try to brainstorm with all of our portfolio companies as well. So, I think what works, what we've particularly seen is that India as a audience has always required some sort of like focus on it. So we've seen Indian focused products or products that are localized in some way always do better, be it in the context of games themselves or in the context of like financial applications themselves. So I think the first and foremost step there would be like education of users and familiarizing them with the sort of systems that they're interacting with. I think that's like the first like main barrier, and then also making it relatable for them in some way. So again, like there are games in India like PUBG equivalents that have done really really well because they've been able to like Indianize their content a little bit and provide support for like local languages. So India has like some India technically has a lot of languages, but there's some 24, 25 official languages. So again, creating support for that when you go into a voice chat, if you have like people who you can interact with, things like that, really, really help. And from my previous answer, I think like about governments, I think taxation itself and the government adding support for like startups and users in the ecosystem is really, really important because as long as that's not there, we'll see all the talent sort of like go away from India and a significant amount of brain drain as well, which again is never really a good thing. So yeah, I think education like and the government like support and taxation would be like my main answers for that.
Great, Vokant. What about you, Alper? Do you agree with what Vokant was saying?
Yeah, and in an addition to that, the main barrier is right now is the beer market, but not the government. because they are always speaking with the regulations and always speaking with this opportunity because of the young age guys in the DeFi ecosystems, and they can lose the money. They cannot make the control themselves. And yes, these situations are always talking. But the bear market is the key point for the barrier, and the guys don't invest anymore because of this situation. But if I have to speak about the crypto ecosystem, even if we are in the bear market in Turkey, everybody is in the crypto because they know very well in the future the bull will be start, and they are buying in every position. Even if the spot, even if the futures, they are making some things inside their transactions. We are seeing different things. Even if they are losing their money in the crypto, if they trust with the clean white papers, if they trust the projects, if they make the investigation of theirs very clearly in Turkey, they trust the project and they don't exit anymore. Even if they even if they lose their money inside the crypto, because they don't want to lose their own currency in Turkey because of the corruptions in the developing countries right now. You know the global wars are happening. You know the global crisis are happening inside the other exchanges are getting dumped or getting very high, and the stabilization is not here for the dollar things. You know, inside the global, everybody want to make a difference in their money, and everybody knows in Turkey if they are making different currencies with the other works. And the main barrier is absolutely bear market, but not the government, not the regulations and the other things inside the ecosystems.
Yeah, for sure. When the bull market comes, we'll probably see more adoption, whenever that may be. Justin, what about you? What do you think is needed really from builders to onboard the next million users?
Yeah, so I think for us in the gaming space, really we're just kind of waiting for more games to come into the market. Essentially, more games at the quality level that gamers are essentially used to, especially if they're going to try games in a new market. Where we're kind of just waiting for those development cycles to catch up. You know, it typically takes three or so years to really flush out and build out really great games. And I think in Web3 there's the additional layer of these games having working economies, which is definitely a challenge in its own right. So for us, essentially, what we're really kind of waiting on is just a couple really great games, and there are some really great games that have been coming into the market as of recently, and even in the fourth quarter of this year are on pace to be launching, which we're really excited about. And we believe that even in the quote unquote bear market for the gaming space, essentially, we still believe that there's a lot of traction to be had once these games hit the market.
We're all looking forward to it, definitely. Speaking of things hitting the market, before we open up our Q&A to our speakers, to our guests, sorry, to ask questions to our speakers, we always like to ask if there are any alphas or any launches that maybe our audience can look forward to. Anyone want to give us a sneak peek of what you could reveal technically?
Sure, I can start if you are ready. And I want to start for last year. It was very huge to us because while sometimes Istanbul Blockchain Week event has a launch in Turkey, there are lots of projects, but some surprises are inside here. And we saw the artifact guys, which is the coming from the Takashi Murakami team. They are the second market in the crypto NFT ecosystem, if you can see in the marketplace after the Yugo Labs, and we were very exciting. And I spoke with the Yoshi Hashimoto. He is from the Takashi Murakami team and Murakami Flowers. I asked to him about the NFT ecosystem and what will be happening in the bull. They talked to me with their ideas in the NFTs. You know, the fit files are very trend topic in the previews, and they made some agreements with the Nike, and they made their shoes inside their marketplaces. and they also want to make the gamifies inside the Murakami Flowers ecosystem. And he was the CEO of the Sega and Level 99. And I heard very different things inside the NFT ecosystem in global, but in the Turkey, yes, this is the same. Because while we are speaking in the global, we are almost translate in Turkish community, and they are making them the trend topic. So yes, and we also make the different things with the ancient aid, and they also know while we are make the protection between all of the projects inside our ecosystem, while in the whitelists, while in the crypto things, NFT collectors are very important. But now NFT marketplace is dumped. But this is not a bad situation, because we know in the bull market NFTs are collecting the tokens. And in the other side, in the previous week, we made with the Fusionist team, and they are the biggest gaming industry right now with the Binance marketplace, and they've got the 2 million guys inside the Discord, 1 million guys inside the Twitter, and lots of guys inside all of the ecosystem. And they also speak about the ACE token earning with the testnets. You know, the testnet projects right now is making different things like the airdrops, like the advanced pre-sales, like the making different rivers for their. And also in the NFT marketplace is will coming in the same. And we heard about the artifact guys, we heard with the Takashi Murakami guys, which is the very important for the community and for the global introduction of theirs. And maybe the Yugo Labs are the same, because in the previous, the Ape token has been made the airdrop, and the NFT collecting is, yes, still very popular. While you are making the competition with the whitelist, everybody is getting bullish. Everybody want to take the NFTs because of these opportunities. And as you can see at last, ZK ecosystem, if you make the domain as the NFT, different thing, and the most unique one, inside the ID things, also in the bank, in the space ID, in the DYD, in the Palo ID, which is made the different supports by the CZ. This is very important in the NFT ecosystem, because it means airdrop in these days. If you have got a one best quality NFT, even if the Topaz market in the Aptos ecosystem, you can see the Optomingos NFTs getting the redacted case, and also Pontum NFTs, and also all ecosystems. I can make lots of experiences, makes lots of examples for every ecosystem, is make everybody the crypto ecosystem funds. So this means this is very huge opportunity for everybody that I want to mention about.
Thank you so much, Alper. Definitely collecting NFTs, participating in different experiences by projects, by testnets, social competitions can definitely open a lot of future opportunities, potential rewards, airdrops, and that's one of the activities which is getting really, really huge and really, really popular among different people on the bear market. Thank you for sharing these insights. And Justin, probably you want to reveal something about Ancient upcoming developments and announcements?
Yeah, sure. So I don't have any hard dates here, but what I will say is Ancient 8's ETH Layer 2 on OP Stack is due to launch sometime in the fourth quarter. And my guess is we're closer to 2 weeks than we are 2 months in terms of that launch. So yeah, pretty big step for us in our mission to onboard more gamers and support our gaming partners in a brand new way, and kind of a brand new journey in the Web3 gaming space for us in general. So really looking forward to it, and definitely would love to chat more about it after we launch.
Great, thank you so much. And welcome. Probably any alphas from Woodstock side? Oh, I just received a message from Wokan that he has issues with connections. Do you hear us?
Yeah, actually, it was perfect timing. I heard my name and then I heard your question. But unfortunately, we're a fund, so we don't really have alpha to share in that sense. But yeah, I mean, I think definitely some interesting projects in our portfolio that you can check out that might have some alpha. Yeah.
Okay, same for us. Not a lot of we can share from ourselves, but mostly our portfolio projects are talking and revealing a lot of alphas for community members.
Exactly. That's kind of the beauty, right? That you get to also see the growth of your portfolio companies. Thanks, guys. It's been really great talking to you. I'm just checking if there are any last questions from the audience, but it doesn't seem like we've gotten any in this time. It was nevertheless a very insightful conversation. Great to hear a lot about your projects and also what is happening in Vietnam, in Turkey, and in India. I definitely learned a lot. So thanks again, guys. A lot of enthusiasm and really, interesting talks about what's happening in the crypto space at large. And we host these Twitter spaces around once or twice a month, depending on how it goes with with the seasons and all that. And we usually talk to really interesting guests. And Peter and I, we host our roundtables with 3 guests, and our colleague Sabi, he does one-on-one interviews with founders and goes a little bit deeper into how the projects started. So do keep an eye out on all of that. And we are excited to have you guys back on our next roundtable. Thank you, everyone.